10:34. Started. We'll start with a roll call.
Director Stepanka.
Here.
Secretary Rodriguez.
Here.
Director Westerman. Here. Director Corcoran.
Here.
Director DeMarquis.
Here.
Director Krasansky.
Here.
And last but never least, Director Zarofsky.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Yeah, outstanding. Let's see. Item is approval of the draft minutes from the board meeting on October 13th. That was here. And as will Charlie. Is there any discussion before we go for a motion in a second?
I have one notation. Executive Order 11 has expired, which means I will be adding a notation to the meeting minutes that Directors Corcoran, DeMarquis, and Zarofsky appeared via video. Their locations were noticed, so we are in compliance, but that notation needs to be added.
Does that have any effect going forward on meetings or no? Not just for me to approach?
No, and we'll definitely be looking at some of those. There's some policies and things we can add, but as long as they're the physical locations for the quorum of the board and it's noticed, we're really just returning to how we did pre-COVID notices in meetings. And we can look at additional flexibility in the policy moving forward.
All right, I'll take a motion.
Move, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Francis and Adam. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There. I have nothing to report. It's been a while, either remotely or absent altogether. In the room with everybody. Looking forward to our little trip. It's been a while.
Let him out.
But yeah, it's great. Next will be President Coleman's report.
Just a few quick things. I wanted to welcome Secretary Rodriguez, who is joining us today. So that's great. We had a little discussion before this meeting, just so we could learn specifics about what the pricing that we just had and the deal. And so it was great to chat with him and have him join us today. Brian, down at the end. I'll have Brian McClintock just give us an update. We priced this week for the pool deal, and he can tell us about that.
Great. Thanks, Maureen. At the last meeting, we gave a briefing about the pool. And Adam, you asked, we were talking about the volatility in the market, and you asked if we had any contingency plans. 2 weeks before we started to price this, the bonds from 20 to 30 years were not selling at all. People were pulling those parts of the deals out. So we developed a separate structure that was able to roll the EFC bonds into the 20-year timeframe while we kept the loans out to the 30-year timeframe. We structured it that way. We had conversations with the rating services, and we were set to go on that. Fortunately, we didn't have to do that. We priced retail pricing on Monday, and we got between $600 and $700 million worth of orders for $300 million worth of bonds on Monday. Tuesday, we re-offered the bonds. We were able to adjust the prices down, the yields down, and re-offer the bonds. And we got, in total, including Monday's sale, $1.8 billion worth of orders. So 5.6 times worth of orders. So we were able to reprice again. The long bond was oversubscribed, the 30-year bond. The ones that we were expecting a hard time to sell was oversubscribed 4.5 times.
Wow.
So with the repricing, able to lower the yields, we saved the borrowers $1.5 million. So on the flip side of that, the TIC was, 4.48%. Last year's TIC for the pricing at the same time was 2.1%. Totally different market. Obviously, I did go back before I came in here and looked. The last time we were up on this yield was 2009.
Wow.
So our borrowers have had a huge benefit.
For different reasons.
Correct. Exactly correct. So But along with that, we're on $326 million worth of bonds. We're delivering $221 million worth of subsidy to the borrowers. So as the yields go up, EFC will become more popular
Right.
because they want the benefit, so. Any questions?
Probably could be more popular.
Well, right, exactly.
At one point,
Take advantage of it.
Yeah, right.
But also on another flip side, three sides, is that we can at least make some money on our investments, while
Sure.
cash.
That's true. With the Fed move yesterday, our overnight government money market was at about a 292. Hasn't been posted for today, but we were expecting it to be 360 to 365. And that's, our short-term market is somewhere north of $900 million. So that's a benefit that we're going to be able to grow the program through that.
Questions?
Great. I'd like to just congratulate the team on a really positive outcome. Obviously, the market in terms of overall interest rates has moved, but our ability to access the market, do well, provide strong retail participation and product to people is important for the taxpayers and the various constituents that benefit from the EFC. So good job, team, and just wanted to make sure you're recognized for that work.
Thanks. And I want to second that too, it's, I'm speaking of it now, but it was a whole EFC team. We couldn't get these things done. We're chasing things down all the time. We say it's like herding cats. It really is. Everybody's got their own, you have 34 different borrowers in this, at different levels. We have New York Water in this. Their knowledge level is huge, but then you go out to, I pick a small community and they're in it also. So.
You don't need to name it.
No, I didn't name anybody. So.
Right. Yeah, so you need our engineering team to make sure we track down the documents and our accounting team and
Yep.
finance team.
Yep.
Legal team. So it is definitely a team effort, pretty much whole EFC effort.
Correct.
Also wanted to announce we have two projects, Liberty and Newburgh, on our agenda today that are receiving, the first one's to receiving bipartisan infrastructure law dollars. So we just got the capitalization grants and went out with our final IUPs and coming to the board with our first two projects. So that's exciting. We had at EFC here, we have a new diversity, inclusion, and employee development employee that works in our HR department. And we had an excellent expert come in and speak on diversity, equity, and inclusion to the entire staff. That was really, it was exciting. I think very well received. So we're excited to, continue those efforts. And Shatoya, we now have a diversity and inclusion council that met yesterday and had really good attendance. And so we'll be looking to really up those efforts. And we have implicit bias training next week, which everyone is going to attend. So I just want to let you know that. Ethics training is due. The directors are due for that. So Kate will be probably in January or February, and we can think what works best. We'll do ethics training for all the directors after a board meeting. You can all get it at once. If it doesn't work out, we have to do it like over two meetings, but we'll make sure everybody gets the training, ethics training they need. And as Jeff mentioned, some of us will be going to Rome today. It should be, wastewater treatment plant, but that's what we do. So it should be somewhat exciting. They just, finished their construction recently, and they're out there. We'll get information on the energy savings that I think, they're really proud of. The tour will include digesters, I don't know what an HSOW receiving station is. Don't look at
basically.
you,
And,
Bill.
yeah, septage or
And the,
From
yeah,
grease
the
traps.
biogas
Grease
treatment
pits.
flare, which I think,
Nothing crazy.
and then also two GIGP sites, which they're always nice to see. One, which I already mentioned this, but a smart walk and Capitol Steps, and then Race to the Harbor, which is porous pavements, tree plantings, bioretention, and porous boat launch. So it was important. I think we wanted to get a wastewater treatment plant or facility, and then also GIGP, so we can show GIGP, which is kind of a different type of project, but we all liked Tivoli Park when we visited that the other day.
Great.
Or the other day. 2 years ago. Yeah, I know. I've had a cup of coffee. So that's it. So it should be a good day, long day.
All right. We had no committees today, and I don't think there's any unfinished business, so why don't we move right to resolutions? Resolution number 1.
A resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation amending the prior authorization for financial assistance to be provided by the corporation to a certain recipient in connection with the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund.
All right, I'll take a motion in a second, please.
So moved.
Okay, that was Secretary Rodriguez and Christine. All right, Brian McAvoy will be the presenter.
Thank you. The only project in this ID is for the village of Chameau. This is in Jefferson County. It's for the installation of a new water main under the Chameau River, replacement of existing water mains along Water Street and Evans Road, and the installation of new isolation valves at strategic locations in the existing system. The project's just under $1.5 million, and we're seeking authorization to extend the maturity date from December 31st, 2022 to December 31st, 2024. This project includes a water main installation that has been combined with a DOT bridge replacement project. The DOT portion has encouraged significant delays, so the additional time is needed for project completion and to enable us to fully document the SRF-related DOT costs, which in turn will allow us to maximize the village's WIA grant. Thank you.
Questions?
Sorry, what was the delay again? What was the cause of?
It's mostly related to the DOT as a bridge replacement. They're having delays with that project.
The knockdown thing.
Anything further? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Okay, unanimous. Resolution number 2.
Resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation making certain determinations and authorizing certain actions in connection with the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund and authorizing financial assistance payments to certain municipalities to fund eligible drinking water projects from funds appropriated for water infrastructure improvement projects.
Kate,
I'll make a motion.
thank you, Charlie.
I'll second.
Thank you, Vita. Kim Phillips will be the presenter.
Okay, thank you. We have 5 drinking water projects before the board today. The first one is for the city of Hornell in Steuben County. This is for a long-term interest-free financing. The project includes upgrades to the existing treatment plant, including clarifier upgrades and a new SCADA system, which will enable the plant to be automated, which had previously been run manually. It also includes rehab of an existing 2.5 million gallon storage tank and construction of a new 1.5 million gallon tank, which will address the city's previously inadequate finished water storage capacity. The next one is for the city of Mechanicville in Saratoga County. There's also long-term interest-free financing. The main part of this project is a new transmission main to connect and provide finished water from the Saratoga County Water Authority to the city, which will provide a very reliable source of high quality water to the city. The existing treatment plant was unable to function at its design full capacity due to turbidity issues in the city's raw water reservoirs. So the plant had to reduce its treatment capacity and was there in order to provide quality water. So was therefore unable to provide enough water. So this connection will address their inadequate source capacity issues There's also some minor work at the treatment plant related to the connection, including chemical feed upgrades and a new SCADA system to fully automate the treatment process. This project also includes storage tank rehabilitations, distribution main replacement, and new meters, which includes 944 new meters, which is about 2/3 of the total meters in the system. Those meters will serve to replace all the existing aged, non-functioning meters, which were unable to be automatically read, as well as replace a handful of, not replace, but provide meters to a handful of previously unmetered connections that were mostly commercial connections. The next project is for New York City. This is a storm mitigation loan program project related to Superstorm Sandy. This is a long-term interest-free financing as well. This project provided resiliency at the Kensico Reservoir against future storm events. The project included installing riprap on the western shoreline and in the cove area of the reservoir near shaft 18, which is the effluent chamber where the water leaves the reservoir. This will minimize the potential for future shoreline erosion and future high turbidity events, which happened during Superstorm Sandy when high winds caused large waves and significant shoreline erosion. And the city saw significantly elevated turbidities in the water leaving the reservoir at that time. Next project is a joint project between the city and the town of Poughkeepsie in Dutchess County. Both communities will be receiving a short-term market rate financing as well as a WIA grant for their share of the project. The project includes upgrades at the existing joint water treatment plant. The work includes replacement of the ultraviolet light disinfection system, replacement of the HVAC system, and replacement of the uninterruptible power supply system. The UV system was at the end of its useful life, need to be replaced, and this is critical to disinfection of the finished water. The power supply units were also beyond their useful life and need to be replaced. These provide a critical function as they provide instantaneous backup power for the UV system when needed. And the HVAC system will be replaced, which will eliminate condensation issues in the pipe gallery, which caused a corrosive environment where the UV system was located, and also a safety hazard for operators. And the last project is for the South Huntington Water District in Suffolk County. This will be receiving an EC WIA grant. This is for a new advanced oxidation process or AOP system to remove 1,4-dioxane and other VOCs at plant number 10. The project also includes a new building to house the treatment system and upgrades to existing pumps, blowers, process piping, electrical system, and backup power. Any questions on any of those?
I do. Thanks for the info on the mechanical meters.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm wondering, so the Kensico reservoir, sort of, I think I know what it means to harden the shoreline, but just tell us what that really means.
It basically involved in providing riprap in two critical locations near the shaft 18, which, as I said, is the effluent of the reservoir, so that it'll mitigate the potential for future erosion. So, instead of just having like the earth and shoreline, which was there before, now it's been hardened with riprap.
So it doesn't mean like, concrete,
No.
Nothing like that.
Right?
Big
Yeah,
boulders.
yeah, large rock essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Thanks, great.
Yep.
Anybody else? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Right, unanimous on ID number 2. ID number 3.
Resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation amending the prior authorizations for financial assistance to be provided by the corporation to certain recipients in connection with the Clean revolving fund.
I have a motion and a second.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Francis. A second,
I'll second.
Vita and Christine. Brian McAvoy will be presented.
Great, thank you. The first is in the village of Bergen. This is in Genesee County for the planning, design, and construction of collection system and wastewater treatment plant improvements. We're seeking authorization of a funding increase of $202,000 and a modification of the project scope. This increase will result in the project being $1,250,000, which broken down will be $426,125 in interest-free financing, $563,625 in market rate financing, a WIA of $256,000, and principal payments of $4,000. The additional scope and cost involves the installation of a new ultraviolet disinfection system, the addition of fine screen to protect membranes, and a SCADA control system for the wastewater treatment plant. The second is for Cooperstown. Village of Cooperstown in Otsego County. This is for the planning, design, and construction of the village's wastewater treatment facility upgrade. It's just over $9 million for the project. We're seeking authorization to extend the maturity date from December 7th, 2022 to December 31st, 2023. The additional time is needed by the village to obtain a $2 million state and municipal facilities grant. The next project is for the village of Lake Placid. This is in Essex County. It's for the planning, design, and construction of sanitary sewer rehabilitation and green stormwater infrastructure. It's just over an $8 million project. We're seeking authorization to extend the maturity date from January 25th, 2023 to February 25th, 2024. The project started a little later than expected, and the village's contractors are experiencing supply delays, which are delaying the completion of the project. And lastly, we have the village of Oneida Castle. This is in Oneida County. It's for the planning, design, and construction of the sanitary sewer collection system. It's a $5 million project. We're seeking extension of the maturity date from January 25th, 2023 to January 25th, 2025. The bids came high for this project, and the village requested more time to seek additional co-funding before proceeding with the construction phase.
Great. Okay. All those in favor of ID number 3? Aye.
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 Unanimous. ID number 4.
A resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation making certain determinations and authorizing up to $97,436,193 in connection with the Clean Water State Revolving Fund, New York City Municipal Water Finance Authority.
Have a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
All right, I think, did you get all those?
Yep.
All right. Bill Brazell will be presenting.
All right, good morning, everyone. The financing before the board for this ID is the conversion of New York City's storm mitigation loan program, short-term financing to a long-term direct financing. Through the SMLP financing, we provided $97,436,193 to 10 separate projects around the city. Examples of the types of projects that were funded were watertight doors, sealing of building penetrations, modification of doors and windows, basically projects that would make the pump stations more resilient to flooding. And that's this one. Any questions?
Adam?
I was gonna say, how much are they estimating, as the city's analysis suggests, how much more they can do by converting this approach from short-term to long-term? What does the city think the impact's gonna be on delivering services by virtue of this change?
Right.
To a direct loan program, right?
This is
Am I missing something?
Well, what this is
It's
the
the-
initial Sandy appropriations, which we're rolling into a long-term 0%.
Right.
So, economically, these were pretty good for the city.
Yeah.
Right.
As compared to what
Yeah,
we
it was
would fund a normal SRF project.
Right, so now we're moving off of that.
Up into a long-term
It's
financing.
Just for these specific projects.
Okay,
Yeah.
these are dedicated to.
Correct, yes.
Okay, fine.
Yep.
And this
Yeah, it
was
was
the last of the Sandy funds that had to be allocated and spent by this year.
Okay, got it.
Right, yep, we've got one, well, the next ID, there's a Suffolk County project that's also SMLT, but they're all wrapping up.
What Mike just said, is that why we don't see other New York City ones like this? That this was the last because of the money? Is it a money limit?
Well, it was only one appropriation back in 2014. These projects have been built.
Yeah.
We're now converting them to long-term.
Right.
We're able to offer them 0% financing because of the special appropriation. So that's why we're direct financing New York City here.
And-
As
You're
opposed to
asking
leveraging.
why is it only a subset of?
Right, and there aren't more New York City, or there isn't more money?
There isn't more money.
Okay,
It was
so
a-
there's more New York City,
Oh,
but there isn't more.
May I?
You will see these projects again in our regular format. They're eligible and there's still costs to come. Got it.
Great.
Yep.
Thanks
There
for
is.
that.
Yep.
That's good, that's helpful.
Peter, did you have
Alvita.
something?
No, my comment was actually exactly what Brian McClintock said. There are additional costs on these, and you should be seeing those in a future short-term financing for New York City.
Yeah, they just won't be for 0%.
Correct.
Right.
They'll be in our normal
Tapping
program.
out that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah,
We
special
had to have enough.
appropriation.
We had to give base, regular SRF financing because there wasn't, cost went up and we didn't have enough. So
Their original short term was in
we ran out
16.
of time. So to
That's
make sure that we,
Yes.
all
Right,
of
good,
the
good, good.
Sandy funds,
Yes.
the.
Question.
funds.
Different question. I've heard it's sort of is it in the governor's office, there's an office that was sort of storm recovery, resilience?
Storm
Yeah.
recovery.
Is there a new name, new something?
Still exists.
Yeah,
Same name, same everything?
they're based out of HCR.
Right, exactly.
But they're still there and they're still
Yep, yep, yep.
delivering services.
Okay. I was told, somebody told me that like a new, maybe a, not an upgrade, but like a new thrust, maybe a new name? No? Okay,
New
same.
executive director.
Jamie used to run that before he came into the
Yeah,
chamber. That was.
Right,
he stayed
right,
on
right.
that kind of-
So who's the executive now?
Katie Brennan.
Got it. Great. Awesome. Thank you.
We work with them a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
On these.
That's exactly
projects.
right. Where are they based? In the city or?
Both, all
Yeah.
from New York City.
Great, cool.
Yeah, they're working on Mount Vernon.
Right, good. Beautiful, great. Awesome. Thank you. Great, good stuff.
Okay. All right, so I'll take a vote on ID number 4.
Aye.
Aye.
Right, unanimous. ID number 5, Kate.
A resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation making certain determinations and authorizing certain actions in connection with the Clean Water State Revolving Fund and authorizing financial assistance payments to certain municipalities to fund eligible clean water projects from funds appropriated for water infrastructure improvement projects.
Okay, motion and a second, please.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Charlie. Dean with the second. Bill Brazell again.
All right, today we have 7 clean water projects before the board for new financings. First, we have the Village of Adams in Jefferson County. This is a long-term hardship financing. The request before the board today is for $3,094,942, long-term interest-free financing. The Village of Adams has completed a project that involved upgrades to the village's wastewater treatment plant, as well as improvements in their collection system. The village was required to add disinfection to their wastewater treatment plant. They've added UV disinfection. Other improvements to the treatment plant included influence screen upgrades, instrumentation and control upgrades, improvements to the aeration system, new sludge drying barn, and other site and building improvements. Within the collection system, they rehabilitated 19 existing manholes, replaced a pump station, new automatic transfer switch at one of their pump stations, and added a radio telemetry system at all three of the village's pump stations. This project was supported by an engineering planning grant from 2014 and had also received a 2017 WIA grant for just over $1 million. All right, next we have the town of Au in Clinton County. The requested authorization is for $5,348,808 in long-term interest-free financing. The town of Au owns and operates an existing wastewater collection system and a 0.4 million gallon per day wastewater treatment plant, serving an area that was previously the village of Keysville and portions of the town of Chesterfield. The town has a consent order with DEC due to high inflow and infiltration in their collection system. So much of the work was done in the collection system. They are replacing 43 manholes. They're adding 29 new manholes to the system, rehabilitating 196 manholes. They're also replacing 4,900 linear feet of sewers and over 1,000 feet of sewer laterals, and nearly 54,000 linear feet of sewers are going to be slip lines. Construction of this project will protect the Au Sable River and Lake Champlain. This project also benefits an environmental justice area and was supported by an engineering planning grant from 2013 that was awarded to what was then the village of Keysville. The project had previously received a 2017 WIA grant for $1.56 million. All right, next we have the town of Chautauqua. Yet another long-term interest-free hardship financing. The town of Chautauqua in Chautauqua County. Request before the board is for $1,822,856 long-term interest-free financing. The Chautauqua Heights Sewer District had a wastewater treatment plant, a package plant that was rated for 60,000 gallons per day. DEC was requiring a new phosphorus limit to help protect water quality in Chautauqua Lake. Rather than upgrade the wastewater treatment plant, they decided to decommission the treatment plant, constructed a new pump station, and about 21,000 linear feet of force main, and they're conveying the wastewater to Chautauqua County's North Chautauqua Lake Sewer District wastewater treatment plant for treatment. So that will improve, and rather than upgrade the treatment plant, it's more efficient to send the flow to the existing treatment plant, which has ample capacity. This project had previously received the 2017 WIA grant for over $600,000. Next, we have the town of Herman in St. Lawrence County. This is a new short-term interest-free financing for $2 million. The town owns and operates a 60,000 gallon per day wastewater treatment plant and a collection system that was originally constructed in 1996. The collection system has had high levels of inflow and infiltration, which resulted in a DEC consent order. This work included TVing the entire collection system, rehabilitating 41 manholes, replacing 5 manholes, some short areas of open cut sewer repairs, new UV disinfection system, and a new electric generator. Construction of this project is expected to begin in May of 2023 and be complete a year later in May of 2024. This project positively benefits an identified environmental justice area, and the project was supported by an engineering planning grant that was awarded in 2019. Next, we have the town of Liberty in Sullivan County. This is the first, as Maureen had mentioned, the first of the two bipartisan infrastructure law financings that we have today. The requested authorization before the board is for $6,916,000 in bill grant, $6,916,000 in bill interest-free financing and a $4.5 million WIA grant. Town of Liberty owns and operates a treatment plant serving the Swan Lake Briscoe Road Sewer District. The plant has a permitted capacity of 425,000 gallons per day. And the treatment plant's been in service for nearly 35 years, and much of the equipment is nearing the end of its useful life. So the project will upgrade the treatment plant and also expand the capacity of the treatment plant. There's a number of housing developments in the area that have been approved, and they're expecting a substantial increase in their flow. So that was the reason for the increase in the flow. And also note that this project is in the Delaware River Basin, so they need to meet more stringent ammonia and phosphorus discharge limits. Project will upgrade the plant's headworks, influent pump station, sludge handling system, secondary treatment process, disinfection, emergency generator, and electrical and control systems. Project will protect water quality in West Branch of the Mongaup River, which is in the Delaware River Basin, as I mentioned. Construction is expected to begin in March of 2023 and be complete by the end of 2024. All right, next we have the city of Newburgh in Orange County. This is also a bill financing. This requested authorization includes 3 different grant sources, $5,577,500 in WIA grant, $5,577,500 CWSRF grant, the base SRF program, a $3,559,825 bill grant, and then a interest-free short-term loan of $2,568,662.
Yeah, and just to point out, sorry, Bill, just this project, it's a $31.3 million project. And on top of the financings, the sources that Bill pointed out, they received other co-funding sources. And so that their loan amount right now would only be just over $2.5 million.
$31 million project. Doing well. City owns and operates a combined sewer system with 11 permitted combined sewer overflow regulator structures, all of which discharge into the Hudson River. The city has an order on consent with DEC that required the development of a long-term control plan. Long-term control plan resulted in a 5-phase project over a 20-year period. The scope of this finance project is in phase 3 of that long-term control plan. This work will be improvements to the North Interceptor. The work consists of constructing a new interceptor sewer ranging in size from 18 to 48 inches. It's approximately 8,500 linear feet long. There will be 47 new precast manholes and connections to the existing trunk sewer. The work of this project will reduce CSO discharges to the Hudson River and reduce inflow and infiltration to the collection system. Construction began this past April and is expected to be complete by April of 2024.
And then before you talk about Suffolk, for Liberty and Newburgh and going forward, you'll see like on these sheets, it says bill-GS. So that's bipartisan infrastructure law dollars, general supplemental, which can be used for the same purposes as our base financing. And that's the pot where you have to give away 49% of the grant, of the capitalization grant in additional subsidy. Then you'll also see going forward, there will be bill EC for emerging contaminants, both for clean water and drinking water, and then bill LSL, lead service lines, when you see that. So we need to keep track of all the different pots of dollars for EPA, and we'll do that for the board as well, just so you know what those rotations are.
It should be flashing.
All right, one final project here is the long-term financing for Suffolk County. This is one of their storm mitigation loan program projects. It's $6,793,302 in long-term interest-free financing. Suffolk County has a 30.5 million gallon per day Bergen Point wastewater treatment plant final effluent pumping station that conveys treated effluent through an existing outfall to the Atlantic Ocean. The pump station, known as FEPS, is comprised of 3 pumping units, each rated at 45 million gallons per day. Project involves replacing the 3 pumps, electrical controls, mechanical systems, as well as installing a 4th pump. There's also some piping changes or additions that will be made. And the pump station will connect to a proposed new outfall that will consist of 2 54-inch diameter pipes that are being funded under a different Suffolk County project. Rehabilitation of FEPS will include measures that provide storm resiliency pursuant to our requirements for the Storm Mitigation Loan Program. Construction started in May of 2015 and is expected to be complete by the end of December this year. That's the 7 projects. Are there any questions?
Important to note on the storm mitigation loan funds, as announced earlier, we had to move some folks that didn't finish all of their project or use up all their funds in time. And we moved it to other eligible projects to make sure that we didn't return any of those funds.
Yeah, very early on in the process, we established what we called sponge projects, where they didn't receive the full 25%. So what we did is these other projects came in, either if they were delayed or if they came in lower than expected, monies were moved over to those sponge projects.
And the deadline we had to meet was actual spending of the money, not committing. So that's where there was a lot of shifting around the last 6 months to make sure that that money all got that your invoices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people lost out, but others gained. So.
Well, if they made it, they got interest-free financing. If not, they can finance it with a regular interest bearing.
We had 300 in drinking water, like $400 million.
238. Well, with 340 clean water.
65 on
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Great. Try to do something.
Just maybe general, not related to any of the projects, but maybe a question, sort of Brian and everybody, like with interest rates, doing this, are you here, are communities sort of either getting a little bit, more reluctant to borrow? Are they looking to do it quicker? Are you seeing anything, on the ground that the market is causing some behavioral changes?
I think there are some people that want to go into this pool.
Yeah.
That perhaps were not
Right.
as far down the path as normal because they knew the rates were going up even higher.
Right. Like anyone else, it's been a long time since rates have been up.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we talked about, it's gonna take some getting used to.
Right.
What it's gonna shine a light on is how valuable our subsidy will be.
Mhm.
And that will, in my mind, I think, maintain the demand for the program as people settle into a higher rate environment.
Sure.
Might also create opportunities for some of the things we've talked about before.
Yep.
And how you use that to get them to do things that are longer
Yep.
lasting, more
Right.
sustainable.
And the other thing that's helping out is all of the grant dollars too. People see the grant dollars, so they're keeping their projects on schedule. So.
And then also, price of energy goes up. People are like, wow, we've got to redo this calculation. We may want to invest in some conservation measures or some
Efficiency measures.
efficiency, because these costs, just like that's been a dramatic increase.
But to answer your question, I think that the projects that are just breaking, just starting to the engineering discovery and stuff like that, those might be pushed off a little bit because, everybody's getting hit by, as you said, rising gas, rising milk and everything else. And, you know, the elected officials are going to be slow to bring some of those.
But we're hoping the grant dollars. keep the
Yeah.
pipeline
Exactly.
moving, and that's-
Great. Well, you guys are thinking about that because on the margin, they
Well,
become less valuable.
Exactly.
They try to
That's-
bigger denominator of cost,
Yeah.
Yep.
right? The nominal dollars. Yeah. They don't.
Exactly. Great. Thank you.
Okay. All those in favor of ID number 5?
Aye.
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 Right. Unanimous. Our last ID number 6.
A resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation authorizing the president of the corporation or the president's designee to enter into a contract with legal research services.
Kate, can I have a motion and a second? Adam. All right, Henrik Weston will be presenting.
Hello, thank you for your consideration and hopefully approval. As you know, EFC Legal, we touch upon many areas of law, federal, state. This platform, which we actually have training on Friday, is excellent. We've had it since 2013. You know, just to name, you know, just Brian's, you know, the bond deal, you know, that touches tax laws, federal securities law, and then the underlying local finance law, general municipal law. So what we'll be able to do is review statutes both at the state and federal level, and then actually get down into some relevant case law. So Derek and I had an opportunity to duke it out with one of our recipients' counsel and very quickly find some case law that helped us really understand this unique situation, and really to help this one recipient get into the pool. I mean, that's just one example, but kind of runs the gamut. And to have a tool like this rather than Google is very beneficial to us and the corporation, and to, you know, ultimately we're doing this for our recipients. This requires your approval because pursuant to section 2879 of the Public Authorities Law, any contract beyond 1 year needs board approval. The annual cost here is $21,147. It's, you know, 3-year contract. It's capped at 3% increase.
That could help.
Yeah. So, thank you.
Thank you. Discussion?
So is that, question, is that why you need our approval? It's multi-year?
It's beyond 1 year, yeah. So in the, in Shrine, yeah.
Inflation protection.
There you go.
I'd have it inflated.
And a procurement policy requires that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that one, because in the resolution says, you know, that these needed services are not available through a preferred source. You don't need us for that.
No.
Preferred.
It's the
It's just the
1 year.
multi-year.
Yeah. And again, that's enshrined in law and reflected in our procurement policy.
Right. Got it. Okay.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Unanimous.
The lawyers.
Value. Yeah, right. Someday offline, I'll tell you my Westlaw story from law school.
Okay, I don't think we have any new business unless there's anything anybody would like to raise. Next board meeting will be Thursday, December 8th at 11:30. It will be preceded by audit committee at 11. If there's nothing further, I'll take a motion and a second for adjournment.
Second.
Rodriguez, I think that was Francis or Adam. Okay, all those in favor of adjournment? Aye.
Have a great field trip, everyone.
Great
time,
everybody.
That aren't joining us.
Enjoy your room.
Yeah.
We'll miss you.
Rome, Italy.
All
Here we go.
roads lead there.
I know, right?
Boom.
Water infrastructure really